Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and today we cast a 1v1 on the map Eye of the Storm. We're watching Supreme Commander for Alliance Forever. I don't know why my intro is so weird this time, but you beautiful people will figure it out. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Blam, shabam, kabam, all of the bams, bama. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. What? God, the ADD today is insane. Alright, so, Eye of the Storm. Let's look at the map really quick before we introduce our players. 4,850 reclaim. There is water, which means Navy, which is the best part of FA, in case you did not know. And then there's also like this entire land portion of it, but nobody ever does anything with that. It's all about the Navy. And we're going to start introducing our players. In the top left, the purple Cybran. He told me he pronounces his name Rowie, but he's wrong because his name is indeed Rowie. And Rowie is going first land, and he is in the top left. And then our second player in this 1v1, a red Seraphim going by the name of Azrael. Azrael? Azrael. That seems right. Going first land, he is Seraphim, which means that he has an unfair advantage on this map because he has himself, you know, Seraphim with the Zooies. And, yeah. You know? Also, if you're looking at the Twitch chat on the right-hand side of the screen, Mr. Rowie over here, Mr. Rowie your boat, is inconsistent on this. Every time somebody says that they ask you, like, this is the way to say your name right, I'm pretty sure you say no. And you do it to fuck with people. Because I know for a fact I've asked you before, and you said it's you say it Rowie, not Rowie. I'll be sassy with you. No, I don't know. I'm disagreeing with you. I know it's your name, but I'm right. Fuck you, pay me. So, what are these players doing in the early game? Let's go ahead and talk about it. We have two Zooies. I already mentioned that Zooies were abusable on this map. Coming out from Azrael, and we have Rowie over here. Control K-ing his own units. Good job, Rowie. Good job. Just gonna randomly control K units. You're lucky you didn't have your comm selected. I'm glad I caught that. That was beautiful. A T1 bomber finishing up for Azrael. And players going to be expanding, of course, to the other corners of the map. It looks like Rowie is going to start sending his comm southwards, whereas the comm of Azrael is going to sit here AFK and do nothing, which is inefficient, but possibly at some point might get enough courage to go up north. And the T1 bombers and Zooies are gonna start trying to do their work. There's another T1 bomber, this time out from Rowie. There is, of course, a interceptor finished for Rowie that's going to be going after the T1 bomber of Azrael, and it's gonna miss. Did he see it? He saw it. Is it gonna kill something? Probably. I think these two engineers die. Oh, that engineer's dead. Poor engineer. Very dead. Very much so. Very dead. We're gonna move the mini-map again. I'm not happy with where my mini-map is at any time. Another 4 engineers going down, or maybe that was 3, but that bomber got the most valuable bomb off, killing off multiple engineers. It's only 3 engineers, so you got 4 engineers total with that T1 bomber, which is worthy of being a decent T1 bomber, whereas the Zeus out from Rowie is on currently 1 kill and working on its second kill coming through. The first kill was apparently on a Thom, not an engineer. Less valuable to kill a Thom than an engineer, but you know. The interceptor out from Azrael is really failing to get a lock onto the Zeus out from Rowie. And the Zeus out of Rowie ends up dying, which is, it's painful. Also, this Zooey. It's painful because he was so close to killing off. I mean, he did kill off the mass extractor, but like 12 HP? 12 HP? If he gets another bomber over here, he kills that off, but like I don't know if the second bomber out there would be worth it. He could try it. Couldn't hurt. This Zooey is now over here. The two early Zooies going to be picking up a mass extractor and possibly some power generators, but also going to die to a Zeus. You would think whenever the Zeus drops like the electric bomb all over the ocean, like it should do like some special effect where it just deals massive damage to everything like for a longer distance because water is conductive. Right? I'm right. I'm always right. The Zeus should have added effect against boats. Just deal more damage to boats. So, there is, of course, a double bomber assault heading in towards the base of Azrael. It does look like one of these bombers is going to be targeted onto the power generators over here. And we'll have to see. Is it going to happen? Drop your bomb. There it is. There it is. Oh, wait. No, that was going for an engineer. Oh, two more engineers are going to be going down to this bomber assault. That's, I think, maybe the third or fourth kill these two bombers managed to pick up. And this bomber is not long for this world as it kills off another... Wow. This bomber's lucky. This bomber... Oh, never mind. This bomber's stupid. He got away with murder and then he decided to turn around. The murder investigators, the homicide inties are out in force today. Wow, this mole is using cloaking. That is what we would call a cloaked mole. Why are there so many... Why is the entire edge of the map these mountains? It means that, like, you can't get cinematic shots. See? That's bad. That's bad map design. Make the edge of the map flat. I want to get my pretty pictures. That's gonna be a dead bunch of units. The Zeus might die as well unless it kills the T1AA with this next pass, which it will. I mean, the Zeus dies either way, but okay. Well, I guess that's worth it. It does kill off quite a few T1 units out from Azrael. And it seems that the map is kind of going in the advantage of Rowie, to be completely honest. He's managed to expand more. He has more mexes. He has control over this quadrant this corner, and this corner over here he seems to have control, but the comm of Azrael is starting to push forward, and these units are not going to kill off a comm. So that's going to be that's gonna be not great for Rowie, but these units just get to run past now, and there's not really much resistance down here, so a bunch of mexes are probably gonna die to these mantis now, and that's gonna be unfortunate for Azrael. Go ahead and speed the game up a tad bit. The mass extractor over here going to be going down to a few mantis. And we have naval production now out for Azrael. He has his first submarine finishing up. And we have more naval production out for Rowie, or the same amount actually. He's going to go for frigate first, which is a interesting tactic, because frigate first means that if they go submarine first, you're going to lose your frigate if they meet each other, but, you know, different strategies. A second naval factory has finished up for Azrael, which is significant. 5 mantis are going to manage to do an inordinate amount of damage to the economy of Azrael, as they kill off mexes pretty much for free. The comm of Rowie under assault by a bunch of Thoms, and is going to be able to probably stop this, but this could be a run-by attempt. There are some mantis back here to try and help deal with anything that does manage to get through. A frigate also out from Rowie is going to be able to start dealing damage to these units from the shoreline. Frigate's very good at killing off T1 land units, and is going to start running away. There are some submarines, double submarine opener for Azrael in the Navy, and is going to be able to send these units over towards these frigates out from Rowie, and that is going to be these 2 frigates dying, most likely. You still don't have a single sliver on the cards for Rowie. And Rowie's comm has managed to kill off most of the T1 land spam that's coming out this direction and stop the assault of Thoms. On the eastern side, though, there's still a ton of Mantis just kind of pouring into this area, and Azrael is somewhat just behind on ground production, T1 land production. But he is still holding out quite well. Looking at the economy so far, 2.7 thousand reclaim for Azrael versus 605 for Rowie. Overall mass generation, Rowie's ahead by about 1,000 mass total garnered, and is at 41 mass a second versus 38 for Azrael. So a slight advantage over to Rowie. Wait, is Rowie? Oh, Rowie's also in a massive power stall. That's unfortunate. Does he have T2 happening anywhere, or is he just in a massive power stall to be in a massive power stall? I guess he just didn't build enough power. Okay, well, interesting. Probably getting also some T2 mixes, which are quite power heavy, I'm pretty sure. So, yes indeed, this is what's going on. Gonna go ahead and speed it up a little bit as we wait for these players to eco up, get some more map control, and figure out how they want to approach killing off their opponents. A large force out from Azrael is slowly gathering on both the kind of northern and western causeway, or eastern and southern causeway is I guess what I should say. He's building up a lot of units going to both flanks and going to be able to use these to gain some more control. At least that's his hope, I'm sure. He's also managed to gain control of the middle of island over here on Eye of the Storm. Has sent the only player to send really anything out here, has gotten up a factory, and he's going to grab all 4 mexes in this vicinity. And he is slowly taking over the mass lead, now slightly ahead in total mass gained, about 1,000 over his opponent, whereas his opponent was just over 1,000 over him. So very close game, back and forth economically, as Azrael continues to gain more territory for himself. The middle of the map, this southern area, getting quite bulky, but I don't believe it's going to be able to take over anywhere near... It's not going to be able to assault this position and win, is guess what I'm trying to say. On the north side, the comm out from Azrael is able to keep any T1 spam out from Rowie at bay for the moment. And a large air engagement kicking off between Rowie and Azrael losing air massively, going to be getting rid of all of his interceptors in one fell swoop, and that's going to leave Rowie with a air advantage. We could possibly see some T2 air shenanigans. After you win air that hard, may as well go for some shenanigans in that sense. The comm of Azrael is abandoning this northern position, and that's just going to mean that all of this spam out from Rowie is going to be able to come forward and be able to deal with all of this. Speed and range is starting up for Rowie currently at the moment. He's going to be able to get that very quickly with the assistance of all of his Mantis over on this flank, and Azrael sending his comm. I don't know where it's going. There's a bunch of jesters now built up by Rowie, and Rowie's going to be able to use these jesters to kill off all of these mass extractors in this factory in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, in the northeast side, this corner, he's going to be able to grab up all of this territory, and it's going to be it's just going to be a bad time for Azrael, as he was catching up and starting to get some kind of an economic advantage, and now he's somewhat behind. The only bright spot for him is he definitely has a naval advantage as of the moment. You could see a possible switch to T2 Navy and try and kind of bully out Rowie from a lot of these mass extractors, but Rowie has an overwhelming ground advantage, being able to produce more land units and have more of them pretty much everywhere on the map, except for over here. There is T2 land finished up for Azrael, but this comm is going to kill off your Ilshava, so is it worth it? Stealth is only 10% away. It's going to be done in about 6 seconds. If Rowie has some power storage and he has good power generation, he could go for some overcharges. Stealth finishing up for Rowie, and he is going to be able to use these 2 upgrades to at least hold off this attack and maybe get some aggression done over on this southern flank. The comm of Azrael seemingly deciding to go all the way back home, which is a bit strange. He could have left it up here and held on to this corner, but decides not to. And with that, Rowie is at an economic advantage with 57 mass a second versus 51. Overall total mass gained, it is still in the advantage of Azrael, as he has much more reclaim, nearly 3,000 more reclaim than his opponent this game. And that is about the total mass generation difference in the game at the moment. Rowie is slowly losing control of this southwestern corner, but he has the comm here, he has the gun upgrade, he still has the capability to hold on to this. As long as he just gets some more units to reinforce from home, he should be able to very easily take this over again. But there's more Ilshivas on the way. There's triple T2 land factories producing Ilshivas over on this southern side, going to be sending them west to try and deal with Rowie's comm. But over here on the eastern side of the map, we have a massive group of units out from Rowie, just constantly throwing units at Azrael's eastern side, and it just map control wise, you can just look at it from the vision game. Look at this vision map, very dark. Then you look at Rowie, it's all lit up. It's like a Christmas tree up here for Rowie, and we have the Navy is about to be a big problem for Rowie. That is apparent. T2 air on the way for Rowie, but the Navy is gonna be something he has to deal with relatively soon. Another massive air battle is going to result in Azrael losing all of his interceptors for the second time. Those jesters did get killed off by Azrael, but not before clearing out the middle of the map. And Rowie is making progress over here on the eastern side, yet more progress. We have T2 air finished for Azrael as well. He's producing interceptors with it for now, but he could produce stuff like Natha bombers or Volthu gunships in order to play a bit more of a defensive, to use them defensively or offensively, honestly. Could use them to possibly go for a snipe, or even just use them to abuse the land units that are being sent out by Rowie against him. Is Rowie T2 land yet? He is indeed. He has managed to get to T2 land, is building hoplites out from his T2 land HQ. Ilshivas assaulting the position of Rowie once again as he continues to fall back. And we have ourselves a bit of a precarious situation. Falling down below 5,000 health is not generally what you want to do, as these Ilshivas continue to fire onto the comm, but they are distracted by the spam coming up from Rowie. Rowie's still able to hold off this assault with the comm alone, but he's going to need to get some T2 units down here to help him with the constant spam of T2 units. There's also a couple of frigates in the water, which are very badly damaged, but still exist and can help him out a little bit. Let's go ahead and go back to normal camera. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a drink. Water is so damn good, by the way. I love water. Water's the best. Well, maybe not the best. I do like me a zesty drink, but water. Water! Life-giving H2O. Alright, so a bunch of rhinos now making their way to the south for Rowie, and this flank has been just annihilated for Azrael. He had control of this corner not 10 minutes ago and is now being pushed in almost to his main base, taking away everything on this eastern side. He's trying to apply pressure on the western side, but the comm of Rowie was able to hold out long enough that he has an economic advantage now, especially if he was able to upgrade some of these mexes here towards the back of his base. And I've correctly been corrected in chat. These are Wagners, not in fact rhinos. Wagners, of course, having that high alpha damage and I think more health than rhinos. So, correctly pointed out by Rowie, the ever so actually man in my chat. Well, actually, those are very important. Well, this is why I put Twitch chat on screen, so that when I cast somebody who's in the Twitch chat, they can tell me how wrong I am about everything happening in the game. But with that all said, I'm sure the YouTube comments will tell me I'm wrong too. So no need to worry about it. I'm just wrong. We have a bunch of Mantis now assaulting the position of Azrael, who doesn't have a gun upgrade, does he? That is... I don't think he has any upgrade on the comm, which is interesting. Gonna be able to get into this air production line that's been built up by Azrael with all of these units. I don't think this is going to deal any kind of critical damage. It may be able to kill off the T2 Air HQ and maybe some of these factories, but it's not going to kill off the comm, I don't believe. But there are Corsairs coming in to try and snipe the comm, even though I'm not sure if you could even call it a snipe at this point. It's just Corsairs coming in to finish the job that the land units were trying to do. And there's a bunch of factories going down for Azrael, and that is just... It looks like this might be the end for our Red Seraphim player. On the western side, his units were stalled out. On the eastern side, or on the southern side, his units were stalled out. On the eastern side, he was unable to maintain control of that northeastern corner, and he is currently in a very rough position. The only thing he really has going for him is the fact that he had the naval advantage, but that was just destroyed by the Air Force, so... I mean, technically you could argue he still has the naval advantage. He has more naval units, but there's not enough to do anything significant. Ilsheva's down on the southern side. All Roe has to do is be careful of not getting sniped or getting overwhelmed by the Ilshevas. But I do think it's good that he's still trying to use the comm to stop the Ilshevas from pushing forward. He has a high vet comm, 14,000 HP. He's getting close to vet 5. All of that region with 39 health a second is very powerful. And we're going to speed this up as we've hit a tad bit of a lull and see what Azrael attempts to do to hold on in this game. Honestly, I think at this point we could see Roe just go straight for the Corsair spam and be able to snipe his opponent. Azrael going for T2 on the comm, going to get a few more health points and the ability to build those T2 defenses. And that might help him out a little bit. Did he lose his T2 HQ? Nope, it was built over here with the other two T2 production facilities. Roe still over here with the comm, still overcharging. Very close to getting that 5th rank of veterancy, and he's probably going to get it if he kills anything else over here. He's only 100 mass killed off from that. A large group of T1 spam now coming in towards Azrael's base. Speed and range going to be finished up very quickly by that T2 upgrade that Azrael was getting, but more structures are going to go down to that. The Medusas in the back of the forest going to be able to just throw their Medusa shots, their artillery shots into the air. Every time they launch a shot, it's 100 health lost from one of these structures, and it's going to be a painful and slow decline for Azrael at this moment. I just don't see what he can do to come back other than a snipe. He's just overwhelmed on every front. The expansion out from Roe has been good. He's managed to grab up so much of the map, and we have 67 mass a second versus 57 mass a second. A lot of reclaim being sucked up by Azrael, and that might be his way back in. But even if he does manage to get back to parity on tech level in the air and get air control, he still just doesn't have map control, and the Corsairs will be able to do quite a bit. The T2 land HQ under threat now by Corsairs. One more pass out from these Corsairs and it'll do it. That's the T2 HQ going down, so no more Ilshevas. Oh, that's painful. That's within the territory of Control Kang, honestly. That would be a situation where I would debate Control Kang heavily. I guess maybe he believes that he can muster enough units over on this southwestern corner to kill off Roe, but Roe can always just get into the water, and he has air control. You're never going to kill him via air unless you have pretty much T3 air at this point, so it's just a question of how long is Azrael willing to put up with this abuse. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the game, as I think this is GG. And Rowie wants me to mention that they were both in voice while playing this, so these players were talking to each other, having a good, fun time. Control K out from Azrael. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for joining me. You all are beautiful. Thank you to my patrons, Timothy Cowderwood, Sergeant Syphilis, and Nogthar. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, hi. And I'll see you in the next video or stream. Come check me out, twitch.tv/Willow's Duality. That was a fun match.